let's begin with rule 2. The rule which is the most misunderstood rule, and largely because of convenience. Everybody has misunderstood it so beautifully and conveniently that it has got passed on from generations to generations. But we need to understand word by word this rule so as to understand and what answer should we give in the exams. That's what these two are the more important ones. One is understanding, one is the answer to give in the exams. So let us begin with the understanding first. The title of the rule is responsibility. Matlab, whose responsibility? Everybody is responsible, right? But essentially, here, since we are talking about us, as me as a person, whose responsibility it is to follow the rules. It is my responsibility. The rule is putting the responsibility on me that I must comply with the rules. That is the beginning of this particular rule. Now we start off with the content of the rule. So basically, it is my responsibility to follow ROR. So it starts off with 2A, which says nothing in these rules shall exonerate. Exonerate का मतलब है pardon. So there is no pardon. Nothing in these rules shall exonerate. No pardon or no excuse. Nothing in these rules shall exonerate any owner, master, or crew thereof. No pardon or no excuse to anybody. And this means we are talking about ship owner, we are talking about master, we are talking about crew. Now this list, since it is mentioning this, that means this list is not complete. This list can carry on. So you can include in this charter, agent, shipper, consignee, etc. There is no pardon or no excuse to anybody. All these people included, and the list is endless. For what? From the consequences of any neglect. From the consequences of any neglect to not follow ROR. If you have any neglect of following ROR, that means you're not following it. If you do anything like this, then there is no mercy. Or of any neglect of any precaution, or any precaution which may be required by the ordinary practice of seamen, or by the special circumstance of the case. So if there is any additional practice which is required, any precaution which is the ordinary practice of a seaman, then that also needs to be complied with. This ordinary practice of seamen is also called as, in another language, prudent seamanship. इसको prudent seamanship भी कहते हैं. That means basically the gist of this point number 1 is please follow ROR. This is the gist of this point number 1. In point number 2, it says in construing and complying with these rules. That means while following ROR, due regard shall be had to all the dangers. You must give regards to all dangers of collision. You must give regards to all the dangers of collision and navigation. And to any special circumstances. Any special circumstances, including the limitations of the vessel involved, which include limitations of vessels involved. Which may make a departure. Which may make a departure from these rules necessary to avoid which force you to make departure from ROR, which are forcing you to make a departure to avoid immediate danger. So, while you are following ROR, please give regards to all the dangers of collision, navigation, special circumstance, limitations of vessel involved, and which force you to make departure from ROR to avoid immediate danger. But you shall still follow ROR. You are not going to make a departure. That's what the rule is trying to tell you. You shall still follow ROR. Why? Because while following ROR, you will give regards to everything. What people have started doing is, people have started looking at this sentence with a full stop in between. But you have to try and understand this whole 2B is one sentence. There is no stoppage in it. There is no full stop. It starts off with in construing and complying. That means while following ROR. Due regard shall be given to all the dangers of collision and navigation involved, and to any special circumstances of the case, including the limitations of the vessel involved, comma, which may make a departure from these rules necessary to avoid immediate danger. So they are forcing you to make a departure, but you will still follow ROR. It's one sentence, it's not two sentences. So what some of our seniors have done is very conveniently put a full stop there in between, and they have said, which may make a departure is a separate sentence. So please make a departure. If you feel that you have immediate danger, please make a departure. That's what they have done to understand it. That is not the meaning of the ROR. It is one sentence. There is no full stop in between. So this is the theme. It starts off with please follow ROR. Point number 1 also says please follow ROR. And point number 2 also says please follow ROR. It is putting a responsibility onto you. So come what may, please follow ROR. This is the meaning of this rule. Haji. Now, any comments? It's totally opposite to what you have learned.
Yes, sir.
Totally opposite to whatever is being done on board and thought on board, including the masters. Correct or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So does it make sense? Whatever I've told. First, you have to be convinced, because it's radical thinking. Somebody who's been trained right from beginning, right from cadetship, then ऊपर जहाज पे गए 18 महीने किए, जहाज पे भी सब लोग यही बोलते जा रहे हैं, अरे यार रूल नंबर 2 लगाओ, हार्ड अपोर्ट दो, बिंदास, बात खत्म. But you have to try and understand. If you have a collision, then you are jacked. Because rule number 2 will not save you. You can't use that. Rule number 2 is saying, please follow ROR. You are responsible for it. It starts off with the main theme. Responsibility is yours. For what? The rule is not saying, please disregard ROR. If that was the thing, then only one rule would have been there, rest would have been not there. The matter would have ended.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर, थोड़ा बोर्ड
Yes.
दिखा दीजिए, लास्ट से लिखने को बच गया।
Yeah, please. लिखो.
So that means in any case we should not deviate from the rules.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. In any case, we should not deviate. That is the main theme of the whole thing. ROR is all about that. It is all about jaldi action. अब प्रॉब्लम ये आती है कि I have got a vessel which is on my starboard bow crossing me and she's 20 miles off. CPA is 0. Right? So what is my immediate action, reaction? कि अभी 20 माइल है, अभी ठंड रखो, 8 माइल आने दो, 8 माइल पे एक्शन लेंगे. This is what we practically do. Correct?
Yes, sir.
What are we supposed to do? Rule number 16 says take a early action, जल्दी action. So मैंने पहले ही rule number 16 का उल्लंघन कर दिया. What I am supposed to do at that 20 miles off also, whenever I've discovered that risk of collision exists, whenever I've discovered it, अगर 15 माइल पे किया है तो 15 माइल पे, my responsibility to keep clear starts. I should have taken a jaldi action. I should have altered 5 degrees or whatever to starboard. Instead, I choose to come to 7-8 miles and then I will give starboard 20 or starboard 30. That is what the problem is. I'm not willing to give starboard 5. अगर मैं starboard 5 दे देता तो सारी प्रॉब्लम ही सॉल्व हो जाती. Okay, can I erase this? Is this clear? इसमें किसी को कोई डाउट तो नहीं है? Anybody has any questions with regards to anything? Okay, I'm erasing it. Let me start off with. Okay. So एग्जाम में अगर सब ओरल्स में कोई क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है, तो दिस इज अ स्टैंडर्ड क्वेश्चन व्हिच इज आस्क्ड कि vessel A, vessel B, you are doing 10 knots and you have a vessel C overtaking you from the starboard side. Risk of collision with B exists. So what will be your action? So basically here, action by one or action for one contradicts action for the other. So इसके लिए मुझे starboard जाना है और ये मुझे block कर रहा है, तो मैं नहीं जा सकता. So it's a classic case of what will I do? So if you are given a question like this, अव्वल तो दिया नहीं जाएगा, but supposing you are given, so your standard answer is going to be ideally I should have taken an action 2 hours earlier. जब मैं इधर था 2 घंटे पीछे, तब मुझे एक्शन लेना चाहिए था. उस वक्त मैंने एक्शन नहीं लिया, इसलिए मैं अब इस मेस में आया हूं. That is the reason why I have landed up in this mess. However, drastic action will now be required. on my part. Drastic action will now be required on my part. Okay. So what is the drastic action? Drastic action will be required on my part. What is the drastic action I'll take? I'll reduce my speed. Allow Charlie to overtake. तो चार्ली आगे जाएगा and I'll give hard starboard. So is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next. Supposing you got another one, delta behind yours. Now you can't even reduce speed. Again, action for one contradicts the action for the other. First sentence will always be, ideally I should have taken an action 2 hours earlier. जब मैं पीछे था तब मुझे एक्शन लेना चाहिए था. मैं इस सिचुएशन में आ रहा हूँ, इस सिचुएशन से तब बाहर निकल जाना चाहिए था. बट क्योंकि मैंने उस वक्त चुपचाप बैठा रहा, देखता रहा, मैंने ये सिचुएशन को डेवलप होने दिया. गलती मेरी है. So drastic action will be required. I can't go to starboard. I can't increase speed. I can't decrease speed. So drastic action will be required. Hard port. And get out of the situation. And what is this action take? You are taking hard port. That means you are going to go like this. Get out. This action will be as per rule 2. Prudent seamanship. ये है इसकी एप्लीकेशन कि मैंने अपनी मुसीबत खुद काट, अपने पाँव पे खुद कुल्हाड़ी मारी है. तो अब मैं को बाहर निकलना है. मैं बाहर निकलूंगा प्रूडेंट सीमनशिप यूज करके. ऑब्जर्वेंस ऑफ गुड सीमनशिप. रूल नंबर 2 अल्फा. ऑर्डिनरी प्रैक्टिस ऑफ सीमन. ठीक है, इज दिस ओके?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the various cases of rule 2. Basically जब भी आपको मुसीबत से बाहर निकलना है तो आप रूल 2 लगाओगे, प्रूडेंट सीमनशिप यूज करके, एंड बाहर निकलोगे. यू आर नॉट मेकिंग अ डिपार्चर. प्लीज रिमेंबर द वर्ड डिपार्चर यूज नहीं करना है. यू आर यूजिंग प्रूडेंट सीमनशिप टू गेट आउट ऑफ अ मेस.